Hi, everybody. My name is Roscoe Rainbow, and I would like to present to you my podcast called Confessions of a Cheater. And I pray it's everything you need in the moment. I tried to make it a little funny. Me personally, I don't really like podcasts because, I I'm a visual kind of girl. I need to see something in order to receive it in a way. So the words is just like people talking to me, and people do that already. So I just don't like podcasts, but I hope you guys like this one. I really tried my best. I'm not here to condone cheating. I'm not here to bash anybody, for their past. I'm just here to tell my story and heal, because as a healer, I realized that I need to heal myself first. So this is me taking attempts to that, putting myself out there, not being afraid because I like to practice what I preach. So if I were to ever have a client that truly needed to be themselves, I needed to make sure that I needed to be a reflection of that. So if you are that client, hello again. My name is Rainbow, and I am here to heal your heart. Let me tell you a few funny stories about the women I chase because of the karma I have received from being a cheater back in my day. They are always baddies whose lives are in danger, and I am put in the middle of divine intervention to save her. I always run into these people who need to be saved, but in a literal sense of Superman coming in with his cape. I know of the energy I carry, but it was my main reason for taking a break from dating. Too many damsels in distress. I can't save anybody but myself. I had an ex that once stole my confidence, blocked my sacral chakra so bad I was off track. She had my heart locked in a box, and the key was nowhere to be found on my end. I tried my best as the four agreements said, but the best was not with her and the relationship been dead. I never understood why God told me why I had to go, but I knew it was something above me that I didn't know. Even the TikTok tarot lady told me I needed to reflect and leave. What is love? I treated love as an escape, and I was just running from me. My ex and I got back together after a 3-year separation. But what spirit was warning me of was a future situation. The devil card scared me every time because the energy felt familiar while the chills ran down my spine. Then the Three of Cups appeared, but in reverse, and the vibes got weird because it gave the Taurus energy of the girl she left me for, and now left for me. I ain't know that girl, and that girl ain't know me, but we all went to high school together, and she always came off as an enemy. Easily. I read the cards as my ex was lying, but everything in my life seemed so perfect. I refused to believe in a divination's warning of false positives. See, I cheated so bad in my past that I kept it a secret. Like, truly kept it a secret. Like, we got back together after the 3-year separation, and that whole, okay, tell me everything, tell me everything. I refused to tell her everything. Like, I don't know what it was, but my tongue said no. So I said, okay, no, we're good, And I was a terrible liar. I still am. So she knew I was lying. And it's probably because I lied at that moment, she was like, okay, now I know how to move forward. You're still a fucking liar. Dang, that's crazy. All right. I mean, who wouldn't want their deepest actions 6.5 feet apart from their person? That was my goal, to go to the grave with my secret because I truly didn't want to hurt her any more than the shit she already knows. I gave it my all, and when she gave me another chance, because if it's meant to be, then it'll be back again. At least that's what my mama said. but I don't think that's so true because the devil always comes back for more when he's done with the person before you. Red flags began to arise when I bought an engagement ring because not even 3 weeks later, I noticed how rude she was and her words cut unnecessarily too deep for somebody wanting to propose. I moved across the country because the divine needed me to see her in her true element and not in my apartment. She would make me so mad in the morning. She knew my trigger strings like a first chair violinist and be off key on purpose. Intentionally waking up at 6 a.m. and start arguing because she knew she could and I would explode so she could be gone for a few hours without having to check in. One time it lasted a week just to spark the same argument. One day, towards the end, she even asked why I do everything she says until it clicked that I am under a love spell because why the hell am I out here begging for this girl and I can't even find myself to propose yet? I gathered the fire energy needed to be careful enough to learn divination and even started practicing tarot on my own collective. I thought that everything was okay if I didn't tell her the past of my cheating days. I got back with her to offer up the love that I promised one day. The foundation of our relationship was in the gutter, but the connection we had for each other was something from outside of the galaxy. It was strong, but in all honesty, I didn't feel right from the beginning. Someone was always cheating, and how you get them is how you lose them, and this time I had a feeling. Long story short, we ended it in a domestic violence case. But that's what happens when you wait too long to break a love spell. I just had to find out the hard way. God told me to end things, and she told me my mental had gone astray. Arguing in the streets yet again, like when I threw that milkshake at her from back in the day. But y'all, we went to McDonald's and she was pissing me off. Like, no lie. Like, I don't know. I made a bad joke and she was like, okay, drop me home. And I said, yo, you're doing too much. She's like, no, drop me home. I said, okay, I just bought you McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Like, first off, I'm a senior in high school. I ain't got no money. Somehow we getting around on E. You know, the least you could do is come chill with me. Like, and it's my girl. You know what I'm saying? She was like, no, bring me home. So you just gonna take my money and leave? Like, that's so crazy. And we had the whole day planned. So I was like, nah. So then I drove back to my house. And then she was like, okay, I'm gonna call my dad. So yo, you're doing too much. Like, it was just a bad joke. Like, I'm sorry. She was like, nope. So like, I was like, all right, whatever. Call him, call him. So I grabbed the milkshake and then like, it kind of like spilled, like, I shook it and it like spilled a little bit on her leg, like mostly on my seat. But she hopped out and I guess she started punching me. Like, no lie, it started raining real bad. Like right after that, like my neighbor's mom stopped and she was like, what y'all doing? Like we was in the streets fighting. Like, well, really she was hitting me. I wasn't hitting her. But then her best friend came. Wow, what a crazy time to be alive, bro. This time though, she hit me in the head and sent me to the hospital, no lie, on the same street. Same street. I told her the truth about my cheating because if I wanted to marry her, then I required love to be there before the wedding. I wouldn't be invited to my own altar. Like, God wouldn't allow it. I deserve to be hit after all that cheating, but did I deserve to be hit by a cheater who cheated as much as me? God didn't allow it. It's as simple as that. Like, I remember we we were dating again, the second go round during the pandemic, and we were both like, we shouldn't be doing this. We shouldn't be doing this. Like, I understand that, we want to work on this, but you have your business over there and I have my business over here. And we should only come together, when need be. But she was at my apartment every night. Then it got to a point where, she had to let go of her car. So then I was like, oh, you could use mine like a dumbass. And so she was using my car to go back and forth. Like, she didn't even have no business going back and forth. And now it makes me believe like, nah, who was you gonna go see? And Big Bertha. That was my car. Big Bertha. So I don't know, I guess because I was trying to be Hmm. Not even trying to be. I was truly trying to love, because I know how bad I was, but I don't know. I just tried my best. I wanted to be a all around good person, but I've realized after that relationship that I needed to tell the truth if I wanted to be a good person, and I'm wondering why all these bad things are happening to me. And it's like, well, I don't, I have such a big secret. God is telling me to my face that this isn't it and I need to leave. And I'm like, no, God, like I can prove it. I can prove my love. Like when you gave me her the first time, I was messed up in the head and I didn't know love and I didn't know you. And now that I'm learning myself and my spirituality and getting closer to God and have a good job and all that, then it's like, okay, let's do it again, spin my favorite one back. And low key it happened, like, and I was so surprised, but I remember I was in the mirror crying, like bawling, crying, like, no, God, like, please, like, and then I had to face myself, like, look at me. Like, this shit was so scary. Like, it's kind of just like, damn, like, nah. There was some heavy magic on that relationship, y'all. Like, I can't wait to release the rest of it because it never truly made sense. Like, to me, I couldn't see it, like, maybe I was just that naive. But I would ask my friends, or actually I wouldn't really, because she would gaslight me. And I've actually lost a friend because I guess she felt I didn't have respect for myself, so why would she have any for me? But I don't know, guys. Like, in all honesty, it truly broke my heart. Um, just as a breakup in total, and then like I come back from a work trip, and 3 days later we're arguing again. But something in my spirit was so off, y'all. Like, I still feel it to this day. Something was so off. I needed to be there in that moment. You feel me? Like, that argument needed to happen to spark the breakup, to spark the me starting to walk away, to me start realizing that something was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I just came back from a work trip, so I had some days away. Also, if you've been following me and you've known me for a while, I save the water, because that's the only way that we can truly communicate with God. So if we do not have a clean source of shower water or ocean water nearby, you know what I'm saying? I understand people that don't live near a beach, but at least a lake or something like that, to fill some kind of water that is not produced. That is how we communicate. That is how we shed. That is how we clean ourselves. Okay? With the Most High. Speaks through water, through waves, through sound. It's just at a frequency that we can't hear. Does that make sense? Like, if you look at sound waves, even the sound waves that I can see right now as I speak, like, even if you, oops, sorry, even if you can turn on your speaker, you know what I'm saying? Did you see that spike when I hit the mic? It's, when it's underwater, it's like a whole different formula. It's a whole different science to it. But suppose we just don't know how to speak it yet. Suppose our subconscious knows, our body knows, and we're shedding, you know, literally our skin on a daily. God can speak to our body. He can already speak to our minds, and our souls is already connected. But through our body, that's where God is. Right now, There's a bunch of hurricanes going on. To be honest, guys, I don't really watch the news, but today is October 10th, 2024. So, whatever happens, happens. Um, but we need to be on water. We need to be near water, and maybe that's why water is coming to us because we refuse to go to it. We refuse to go to God and say hello. I have done this. I have been terrible in the situation, you know what I'm saying? But I wanna choose you. I've already sinned. Literally, I've already sinned. God, I'm sorry. What can I do? What can I do to make up for this situation? I surrendered. What is love? Love is also surrender. It's giving it completely to God. You know what? I'm just gonna drop it. I'm just ready. And in order to drop it, I'm just ready to tell it all. That shit was so scary, y'all. Oh my goodness. I remember I was on the toilet, right? And I was at my sister's house and I was about to take a shower and I'm like, all right, like, okay, God, if if you telling me she's done all these things, because at this point this is way past. This is not okay because you guys are only on episode 1, but I'm not trying to get too much into y'all got to but this is only based off of like my intuition, and I guess I have a cousin, and she didn't tell me everything. She was just like, you have a choice. You're gonna make a choice. Do you want to live the life that you're living, which is low key guilt, which is being strung along in somebody's life, always being second or talked down to in a way? And she was like, or you could choose the light path, you know, and just do what you're supposed to do, be on your purpose. And there were pros and cons to both of them. And I really thought about it. I truly thought about it. But because it's only my spirit, I feel like my spirit, because of that science aspect of me, I feel like my spirit is yes, my spirit is my higher self, of course. And this whole angel number thing is my higher self communicating to me. So if you don't pay attention to your angel numbers, like precisely, you won't get the message. Sometimes we don't think about who we're talking to because you haven't assigned them yet. Like, okay, I see this number all the time. What do I think about when I see this number? Okay, for example, 123. I've been seeing that number all the time. Oh my gosh, 123. I can come up with little things, right? But then 123 happens and something. I'm like, yo, I gotta write that down. So now I'm just like, 123, write it down. 123, write it down. 123, write it down. And then I think about it deeper, because 123 also means like generation. And I feel like Christ said it in the Bible, that he'll be back, but I feel like that's 3 generations, 1, 2, 3. And I feel like it's number 3. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now's the time for number 3. I just said that in my recent tarot reading this week. I said there's gonna be like a next Malcolm X. There's gonna be somebody coming up that's like super into politics and quick with their tongue and doesn't really bring religion. I see them as like mad spiritual, um, real fair. I don't know what that means, but like I'm like fair. I guess justice in a way. Like it's giving me very like lion vibes, Libra vibes, Leo vibes, but not too heavy on the Leo. It doesn't give like Sun Leo, no. Because they come off a little arrogant. I'm sorry, guys, but um, that's what's gonna be about next episode, actually, about a Leo. How I met a Leo and we went on a date for Valentine's Day, and that said Leo actually confirmed that my ex is a cheater. Thank you so much for joining, guys. This means so much to me. Like, you don't understand how long this idea has been in my head. All of this has happened in like 2023, and I'm just now releasing it. Like, as much as we like to say that we're over things, we're truly not, until we don't take up that headspace anymore. So now I feel like I need to release some things in order to receive what's coming to me. So I hope you enjoyed it. It's truly my story. And I tried to be as authentic as I could because I feel like I couldn't be authentic as a child. Not even as a child, just in the whole relationship thing. So I hope my journey of dating is amusing to you and healing in the same way. Thank you so much. If you'd like to be featured on the podcast, I'm going to call it like season 2 of the podcast to people who'd like to tell their story, because I think the whole part of it is to be healing to others as well. So as you guys are hearing my story, maybe you have a similar story or something you'd like to share, with me, and um, we can get that started. So, if you'd like to be a part of the Healing Hearts movement, go ahead and email me at lovethosethatloveus@gmail.com, and I'll get to you at my earliest convenience.